Okay, I'll just start it quickly. Right. So what exactly? I hope you have a idea about project, right? So we have a three phases. First is a proposal, second is midterm, and third is end term. So I'll cover only the main points due to which the reports are getting rejected, so that you will get an idea. Okay, these are the points you need to be careful while you are doing a project. So in the proposal phase, mainly we are focusing on a business problem, right? Business problem. So this is the key point which is going to be critical in your proposal stage. Apart from that, we are also focusing on your Gantt chart, right? Your planning of project in the sense how you are planning your project in the form of Gantt chart or your work breakdown structure, WBS, right? So these are the critical points we are using here. Now, coming to the business problem, right? So, as we have already uh, explained you what exactly the business problems are and what exactly the technical problems are. So, you need to focus, right? This is the critical part which will be useful and applicable throughout your project, right? So this should be the key point. You take some time to finalize the business problem, because if the business problems are not correct, right, the whole project will go down at certain stages, right? So sometime it happens. Sometime it happens the business problems are not properly written. So in a proposal phase, there is a confusion for the TAs. They thought like, okay, this is looking like a business problem. You will just include some of the data or some of the financial things in upcoming submissions. But what happens moving ahead, like in a midterm or in a final term, right? They find out like, okay, there is no link between the business problem and a technical problem. So at that time, in some of the cases, your report is rejected in midterm and final as well, right? Because there is no clarity in your business problem. And moving forward, the PAs think like, okay, in the next submission you will give something, in the next submission you will give something. But what happened at last? They find like, okay, there is nothing related to the business problem. It is a technical problem, right? So these are the things you need to focus mainly on on proposal side. If you go for a midterm, so midterm is very crucial, right? Midterm will decide how like your project will go ahead or not, right? So why it is crucial? In a midterm, you need to give basically proof of originality, right? So proof of originality you need to give, and this is the key factor, right? So you need to be cautious. We are just mainly focusing on two to three things here. The first thing is that we are focusing on proof of originality, right? It should be perfect. The other thing is that we are focusing here is on your metadata, right? Uh, and the third thing is that so metadata and descriptive stats, right? And these are the two main things we are focusing on, right? So because if these lacks, then your project like it's something like you won't be able to continue with the project. So mainly you need to focus on these particular things in your midterm submissions, right? So what exactly the metadata is something like it's information of your data. So if you didn't provide a particular information of the data itself, how we will able to identify what exactly the variables you are using on, right? So because of this is pretty important. Metadata part, you need to write it properly, so that, because the thing is that if it is an offline degree, right, you have opportunity to interact with the TAs and have to explain with the TAs what exactly your data is all about. But when you're presenting in the form of report, you don't have that option, right? So whatever you want to communicate, you need to communicate on writing on a form of your report, or a part on a form of your segment metadata, right? So the thing is that you should be careful. Try to give as much as information with for your data in the metadata section, so that it will be crystal clear for the others reviewers to review it and to understand it, right? Hope it is clear. Just give a thumbs up if you have any doubts. Up to this, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and let me know.
So, please make it some more clarification on the metadata, sir.
Okay. So metadata is what? I'll just take your example, the shop. So if I want to just do analysis, right? If I just want to get information about you, I don't have any information right now about you, right? I only know your name and you are registered for a BDM project, right? But if I want to have a depth knowledge about you, like if I want to see what type of students you are experienced student, or you are having a suppose 30 year of experience or 50 year of experience, or you are a retired people from government services. I don't know anything about it, right? So if I want to dig out more about you, I need a whole information about you. That is what something is metadata. So if I want to know a lot about your data, it should be like you need to give me information, then only I will be able to know. Okay, so I'll give you one more example. You can see by yourself. If you're taking an image from mobile, right? So when you're going in the information of the image, it will give you all the information. That is something a metadata. It will give you information on what date it is, on what date it is capture date, what is the pixels, right? What is the resolution, what is the location, right? So all the things you are able to find. This is what exactly a metadata. Just all of you go through one of the image, because everybody is taking a lot of images, photos, right? So just go through with the curiosity and just try to find out what exactly. If you go in the properties of an image, you will be able to find out all the things with the image, right? So technically, if you want to know what type of image it is, you will be able to identify from there. Otherwise, you don't have any idea what the image. You only know like, okay, this is the image you are having, right? And this is the format you are having of the image. Similarly, when you have a data, suppose if it is a data from grocery stores or from stocks, so grocery store or stocks, right? So how you are able to analyze the stocks? Suppose you can take a stock of XYZ. So if you want to take or if you want to buy a stock, what you can do, you can just go through all the information of the stocks, right? You will see the lowest trend, what is the peak you are getting. You are just seeing the chart for the stocks, right? For previous 1 year, for previous 3 months, for previous 6 months, for previous 1 year, right? From there, you are getting a understanding. Okay, this stock is behaving like this, and these are the critical parameters the stocks are having. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you to identify. Okay, you can see only the stock, you can see only the peak, at what time it is coming, but you don't know the technical details about the stock. So when you are going to explore the stock more, then you are able to understand, okay, this is stock, technical details are this one. Otherwise, you don't have any idea. Similarly, for a grocery store, right? Suppose a grocery store has 50 items, right? But what that 50 items they have, we don't know. The reviewers don't know. And suppose if you are taking a data for 50 items, what suppose here you have one row, it is representing X, Y, Z, right? So what this X is, you have a data in Excel format or some other format. What this X represent, what this Y represent, what this Z represent. Suppose here are the transaction details. So what this type of transaction detail in the form of some number 005 or something, right? What this is representing, we don't know, right? So this is something like you are covering in a metadata portion, right? I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding the proof of originality. Actually,
Okay.
the business which I wish to consult is based in a different city. It belongs to a family member of mine, but I'm not in the
Mm-hmm.
same city as the business owner. So, for the video part, is it okay to record the videos over Google Meet or something like that, or should I look for a different business?
Yeah. So what you need to do, we have already explained this thing, right? So for basically proof of originality, you have to do, if you are not in the same city, right? So you don't have to worry about it. You can just take a video recording via Gmeet, Google Meet, with the official email ID, right? It should not be something like from personal email ID or from somebody else, right? Because we need some authenticity. The person who is on the other side of the meet, he is basically a owner or the one who is giving you a data, right? So in that sense, like it, we don't have a bound, because sometimes students are residing, like they are located out of the India, so it is not possible for them to just interact with the company. Or sometimes it happens like you are in Bangalore and the company or the business you are just contacting with is mainly from your local place. So in that sense, we don't have any issues. But the thing is that it should be authentic, right? It should not be something like you have taken photo or videos from some park or something. It is not acceptable. So it should be from the official place, right? Where you think like, okay, this is the official place. You need to just record a video from there, or you have a conversation with him from there, him or her. Then you can just share the video. That video is fine.
Okay, sir. So if my relative who is running the kirana store records it in the kirana store, it will be fine, right?
Yeah, yeah, it will be in a kirana store. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Sir,
you, sir.
what if the
So,
business is a restaurant and something like that? Then 1 month of data might not be necessary. I mean, two
Yes,
or 3 weeks
I
of
think
data.
1 month, that is a pretty dicey question, because 1 month data is not necessary, right? So I
Hmm.
just come up on that. First of all, I think like metadata portion is already covered. I hope everybody is having an idea about metadata and descriptive stats now, right?
sir, actually, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just proceeding. This is my first term in diploma, and I
Okay.
took a BDM theory and BDM project at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So I don't have any idea, and I don't know what's going on. But I can understand what they are teaching in the theory. But
Mm-hmm.
by seeing here and listening to orientation classes, I can't understand clearly. So it's like something someone is closing my eyes and pushing into somewhere else. So uh,
No,
yeah.
so what doubts you have? What doubts you have? That is what I'm clearing now. We have cleared in the orientation session as well, right? So if you have any particular doubt till now, like you can just let me know. It is pretty clear, right? So whatever I explained, it is pretty clear. I hope it is fine for others.
So regarding problem statement,
So,
Okay,
sorry, sorry. So regarding problem statement clarity of, can you sir pardon sir again sir problem statement?
yeah, yeah. Problem statement. I'll
Yes,
just
sir.
check.
So, sir, actually, in the problem statement, so suppose it's a e-commerce website, and so if so business proposal should be a problem statement, or it, because if one of the item is not getting sold properly, okay, so we need to solve it here. We need to provide the solution, or we will just the analyze the
So
data.
yeah, so you need to provide a solution. So problem statement is what I'll tell you. If you are just
Sir,
interacting,
so
just
is
give
it
me
solution statement tools are
Just
required
give
with
me,
the
just
problem
give me,
statement?
Ashutosh, give me a couple of minutes. I'll just explain
Okay,
you,
sir.
and then you can just come up with your question. So, what exactly a business problem is, right? Suppose you have a kirana store, okay? So, what happens? Like in your village, you have couple of kirana stores, right, nearby. So, what happened? The customers' behaviors are something like they want a product at a lower price, right? You can take your example, right? So, in that sense, like if you want to buy a mobile, what you can do, you can explore a different platform, right? So what happens, there are key factors which you are checking. First is the authenticity of the platform, whether it is authenticated or not. The other problem is that like you can just go with the price, right, and the services. So these are the three things you are mainly focusing, and the delivery time, right? So if you go for different websites, suppose website X, right, website Y and website Z, you can compare here basically the authenticity of the website, whether it is authentic or not. Sometimes it happens the Z website, he will give you a lesser price at a lesser price, right? But what happened, the whenever the product is delivered, it is not up to the mark, right? So you need to see first the authenticate source. After then you need to see the price. After then you need to go through the services. So these are the main things which, if you are exploring some of the things, you are going through it, right? So what happens, suppose this is authenticate, the thing is the platform is authenticated, right, but the services are poor, right? So this, because of this services, what happens, the customers like you, they will switch on to other platform, right? So what happens because of the services, the business is getting down. The customer are switching and they're just trying to see some other options, right? So in the similar way, I'll just give you one example. So it is the service failure here is a business problem. Because of service failure, the customer are taking some other options, and it it affects in a loss, right? Because of this, there is a loss for the X business, right? In a similar way, I'll give you one more example. If you book a tickets, flight tickets, so there are multiple websites. So first you can see from the website, suppose I usually go for a sky scanner. I just see where the prices are less, right? So suppose we have multiple XYZ UV websites. I'll compare the price, right? If it is a domestic, I can just opt for the authenticated website, and even if it is 1,000 rupees more, I'll just go with the authentic website, because sometimes it happens I booked a ticket, and what happens, the my ticket was cancelled at the last moment. At that time, I was in a panic situation, right? Even though I got a ticket for a lesser price, 2,000 rupees less, but my ticket was cancelled. So it's something like they've canceled the ticket, and then I have to book a ticket at a higher price. I never visited that website again, right? So it's something like because of this failure, I'm not able to continue any services with that particular website, right? So this is a business problem. Coming to the small structure, unstructured businesses, what happens? Suppose I'll just take you one example of very small business, that is a shop, that is a vegetable vendors, right? What happened to the vegetable vendors? They are coming from the villages, right? So after coming from the villages, they are just putting their stalls and they're selling the product. But there is a fluctuation in the demand. Suppose you can say green vegetables, right? You can take onions. You can take example of carrots, right? You can take example of some other vegetables, right? So the demands are not consistent throughout the week. So suppose you can see time with respect to demand of commodity, right? You can see here the demand is more for particular quantity for this particular days. Suppose this is Sunday, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, and this is Wednesday, right? So sometimes the demand is pretty high for aloo, but in a similar ways, if you see here, the demand is very less. So what happens if the people are coming from the villages? They don't have too much storage thing. So what they can do at the end of the day, they reduce the price and sell it. So what happened in that scenario? This is a direct loss. Suppose they have sold it at 50% price in the evening time. So that 50% is a direct loss for them, right? Because they don't have a storage, they can't take it again, and they can't store it at any place. So at the end of the day, they have to clear everything. So this 50% is a loss. So what happens now? Your role comes here, right? If you have a data, so it is totally unstructured business where they are not storing a data, right? So if they don't have a data, just what exactly the previous students we have suggested and they did, they asked them to create a data. How it is possible? Somebody will ask me how it is possible. It is possible. You can make some sheets, rough sheets. Just identify what are the commodities he or she is having. Suppose X, Y, Z, A, B, C, right? Here, you can just put a date of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Just ask them to tick this place and mention the quantity. Suppose it is 2 kg per day. It is 3 kg this particular commodity, right? So he or she can just tick per day wise how many quantities they are selling and what exactly the amount they are selling. So from here you are generating a data, and once you are plotting a data, you'll get a trends. Okay, suppose Sunday the sales are high, Monday the sales are low, again the sales are high. So what he or she can do, he can maintain his inventory, or she can maintain the stocks as per the requirement on a day wise. So she or he will be able to save this 50%. Because if the business owner knows, like, okay, this Sunday you need a lot of stock, right? So he or she can store the stock for a Sunday instead of taking the same stock on a Monday, right? So this is how the business problems are created, right? This is how you need to formulate a business problem. I hope it is clear.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Suppose there is a vegetable vendor. He could have data at least for means 7 days. Suppose. So
Okay.
how could we generate the data for months or 3 months or
That
for a
is why
quarter?
that is what I told you. You can just give them a sheet, right? This type of sheet you can just print it out and give it to them. Okay. So for a week,
But in
you
that case,
give
the
them
data
weekly
may
by
look like a
weekly.
hypothetical.
Sorry,
In that case, the data may look like a hypothetical data.
it is not looking like it is directly generating from a source, right? So it is
Okay.
directly generating from a source. It is not hypothetical data. They are filling the exact amount what they are selling it. It is not something like you are making a data on your intuition. It is not like that. It is something like which, like if they have a mobile or they have an app, they can fulfill there and they can share it with you. But they don't have these facilities. That's why they are just filling a manual data entry. That
Okay. So on the
might
basis of
that
week or 15-day data, we can generate a trend for the month or
Yes, yes.
quarter
So
data.
what you can do, you can just share them a file for a week so that they don't have too much of burden. They just need to take it and put the quantity. Like if it per day it is selling nearly 5 kg, they can write 5 over there, so you will have an idea. So similar way, you can just try to identify a data for nearly 2 to 3 months. If it is unstructured, but 2 to 3 months is very small data, because what happens, at least if you want to see the seasonal changes for vegetables and these things, seasonal changes are coming, right? So you won't be able to identify if you have only 1 month or 2 months data. It is very less.
Sir,
Sir, so what is the minimum amount of data that you're expecting?
So we are not expecting, we are not saying, but we suggest you all to at least have a 3 months data so that you can able to analyze something, but it is not concrete. Like in case sometime it happens, you are taking a 3 months data, right? And in 3 months it is a flat curve. So you don't have any recommendation in that sense. So if there is no fluctuation in the demand and supply, right? So how you will be able to identify in 3 months data? So it is very subjective question. It depends upon case to case, right? So suppose you are taking a different case, you are taking a business, there are multiple fluctuation, then you can just see, okay, what exactly is happening here. But if something like a business is not fluctuating in 3 months, then you need to take a data more and you need to see what exactly the trends you are
actually,
getting.
hello.
Okay,
So,
so just 1 minute, I just want to circle back to the metadata. So
yeah.
in terms of images, we'll have all of the pixels, location and all of that. But when we take data from like a vegetable vendor, what
Mhm.
kind of metadata are you expecting? Like is the
Yeah.
date and like the
So
location?
correct.
Is that
Correct. So here, what the things are coming? If you're taking a data for a vegetable vendor, right, or some unstructured businesses, right? So in a metadata, you need to explain, because you are the one who is creating a sheet, right? So what are the basically abbreviation you are using? What are the variables is there? What are the key products they are having? We don't have idea, right? Because you are analyzing a data, you have idea. So then you need to explain it. This is how you are created. This is how you have created a data, right? And via this, these are the variables. Suppose X, here X is representing, suppose vegetable, something like carrot. Y variable, it is representing something else, right? And apart from this, you have one more sheet where you are writing the transaction detail, right? Suppose the transaction per day. So per day transaction, how much it is, right? So these things you have to explain. So if you are just inputting this
But
data in a
but
Excel sheet,
sir, a vegetable vendor is not supposed to keep the track of the transactions.
that is why I told, na?
Then
That is
in
why I
the
told. You can
portal
just
where
input it here.
from primary to secondary, like in the declaration, if we just switch from primary to secondary and
No,
then
just Ayushi, just don't deviate from the topic. Whatever is necessary now, I'm discussing about metadata. Maybe we can stick it with this. and then we can switch it to next. Yeah.
Actually,
Sir,
sir, I am confused that if we suppose a vegetable vendor is there and we are asking for input data, that we don't have the data in the written format, we have to create it. So, like, what
Sir.
can we create? Like, what the transactions are there, what the quantities are there? Is that enough for this project? Like 2-3
Sir,
columns.
you need to identify it, right? Suppose if you know the price. Suppose the per day price of aloo is something like 15 kg per day. So if she is just letting you know the volume, what exactly the volume she sold per day, right? From here you are getting a prediction of the prices, right? You are able
Sir.
to identify, okay, how much quantity and what exactly the sales she is doing per day for particular commodity.
Sir, I would request you that, like, just take an example and explain to us that what could be the problem statement you are expecting, like
Problem
from a
statement
small
I told
business.
you, right? So problem statement I can't tell you right now because it
Hey,
depends upon a
just
Sir,
problem
I had
we are
also.
asking for
see,
just to explain it by an example only.
yeah,
Like,
I,
it
I'll
will be
just
more
let you know. I
clear
have
to
given
me.
you example, right? I have given you example of this shop, right? So problem statement is something like I will not able to tell you. So you have to find out the problem statement based on the business. So that is why in the first orientation, if you remember, we told you just go and interact with the business owner because the problem statements are not same for all the business. It depends upon the business to business. If you are taking a business of suppose
Uh,
stock market, the problem statements are different. If you take a example of something like a milk industry, right, the problem statements are different. It is not particular. I can say like this is the problem statement. It is not like that. So if you want to refer a sample problem statement, you can just go through the book, right? Whatever the books we have, there we included nearly 10 to 12 reports. You can just go through that reports, and from there you'll get an idea, okay, what type of problem statements you need to formulate. So that book contains projects of a different domain, right? It contains the projects of basically farmers. It contains a project of dairy industry. It contains a project of manufacturing firm, MSME. It contains a project of like stock market. So from there you'll get an idea. Okay, this is what exactly the
Sir, but
business.
in that case, suppose one student go for vegetable vendor, another go for manufacturing sector. The purpose of this project to cover the all aspect of this business data management. The
Mhm.
data for vegetable vendor and the data for manufacturing sector may be different,
It's
and
different. That's
manufacturing
why the
sector may
projects are
cover
different.
all the aspects of this project, but vegetable vendor may not cover. So in
That
that
is
case,
fine. That is fine. Don't, we are not restricting. The thing is that you need to collect the data. It depends upon from where you are getting a data. Some students are getting a data from a structured business, organized business
yes, yes,
sector.
yes,
It's fine. Some are
structured
getting
business.
from unorganized business, right? But we are not
Yes, yes, you're
focusing
right.
on a business type here. We are focusing on when you are getting a data. So, see, this degree is something like your BDM, data analysis and application. Application in the sense when you are going to apply your data analysis in basically a business
Yes, yes,
problem,
yes.
or when you're
Application
going
is
for a
same.
live project, how you are analyzing our data, it matters. So that is what we are looking in your project, right? So if you see the project, it nothing is related to your business domain. It's something related to your data, information of your data, analysis of your data. We are not focusing upon the domain, whatever you are taking on.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you
But
if you remember in the first orientation session, I told you when you are going out of your home, just see here and there wherever you find the business and opportunity to get a data, just go and take it. So we are not
yes, yes, you're right,
worried
sir.
about that.
Sir,
But I
is there
think
any
Sir,
restriction on,
sir,
sir, is there any restriction on the tenure of the existence of the business? Like it should be like at least it should be 6 months old or so.
Yeah, it is not like that. It is not like that. But at
Okay.
least if you need a data for a 6 months, it should be more than the business existence should be more than a 6 months, right?
Sir,
Okay, I
sir,
hope
sir,
up to this it is
Is there
clear.
any
sir,
restriction on the domain? If I focus on something like a service sector, for example, a saloon or something like that, I can work with that as well, right, sir?
I told there is no
See, guys,
restriction. I
you
told
can
when you're
work on
going
any
out of your
business.
home. Yeah,
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 you
yeah.
can work on any business. Let Dr. Aditya complete his presentation because if you guys interrupt every now and then, it will disrupt the flow. So, what I would suggest is let him finish it off and then later you can ask questions one by one. And I would also suggest that you
Yes.
go back and have a look at orientation. Most of the questions that you are asking is very, very basic. You can do it on any business, right? Go back and have a look at the orientation video. Go back and just check the rubrics. It will take less than 30 minutes for you to understand what is needed. And just Aditya, just a minute
Okay.
before you and many of you asked on metadata. So what is this? To solve a particular problem, you would need different variables. The different variables that are collected as a part of that problem statement is what we refer to as metadata. And that is what I have put. So if suppose a vegetable vendor is kind of facing stockouts, you need opening stock, closing stock, what price they bought in, what was the demand, how much was sold, what were the margins, and all these. These details are needed to solve your problem statement. So your metadata is dependent upon what is the problem that you have defined in first place. Okay, so that is what he's trying to tell you. And for all these variables that you have taken, there is a descriptive statistics. What was the minimum value? What was the maximum value? So on and so forth. All these you have learned in stats. Right? Aditya, go ahead. Thanks.
Sir, my question was about a restaurant business.
I would advise you to please listen to Aditya. So let him kind of finish his presentation. Aditya, are you there? Or was it okay, he's presenting. So my suggestion is please listen to him first. Don't disrupt. And then you can ask us questions. Anyways, we are coming every now and then. So, please listen to him. Try to understand what he's trying to tell. And then you can ask your questions. And if there are any further questions, email us. But make sure that you have gone through the orientation videos and the documents. Aditya, I guess you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I'll go to the next part of the project, that is the Anthem, right? So up to this, I hope it is clear. If you have a basic understanding, give a thumbs up. Other than that, we are just taking a question at a last, right? Great.
Sir, just a question about the problem statement. Do we have to cater to a single problem statement or in the problem,
That
or we have to
I'll take it
Again,
later.
this has
I'll
been
take it later.
covered. If this has been covered, if the problem statement is big enough, which covers all the heads we have asked for, one is enough. Otherwise, it is safer to have 2, 3 problem statements and work on this. Everything that you're asking for is covered in orientation. So if you have not seen the orientation videos, I would advise you to check the orientation videos first before raising question in the interest of time.
So I'll just cover the Anthem. All right, what exactly the content of the Anthem report say, right? See, in a midterm, I told you like what are the things we are focusing on, but when you are coming for a Anthem, so these are the heads we are just focusing on: your results, your detailed analysis approach, right? So what happens? Most of the reports are getting rejected on this portion and in this portion. So these are the two key portion you need to careful while making your report. So what happened? I'll give you some example. So suppose this is a demand and this is with respect to months, right? So this is a plot. I'm just giving an example. So this is a plot. One student, he included this plot, right? After then, in his report only, he put other plot, that is a supply with respect to year. He put this plot, right? The third is he put some histogram, right? Fourth, he put basically some pie chart. Okay, so these are the plots he included in his report. Nothing is there. If I will just give you a report with only these plots, are you able to interpret something from this? It is not possible to interpret anything from this, because this is something like what? You have Excel data and you are plotting the same Excel data in a visualization form. Doesn't make any sense. So if there is a peak, suppose here is a peak, here is a peak, here is a peak. Just let me complete first. So here you have a different peaks, right? Here the bar charts are changing. Here you have a different pies. So you need not to go for more than 5 pies on a pie chart, right? It is not correct. So if you have multiple things, so what exactly you are doing? You are just visualizing your tabulated data in a plot form, in a graph form, right? In a different graph form. But there is no explanation at all why this is happening. So this is what exactly the business is also like they are just trying to find it from your end. That's why they are giving you data. This Excel sheet and demand variation and these things they also know, but why it is happening, what exactly the main feature, you need to discuss with the business owner and you need to find it out. Okay, you are getting a lot of fluctuation in the month of May, why it is happening? Or you are getting a lot of fluctuation in the month of June, why it is happening, right? So in that sense, you need to justify, you need to give a details about your analysis here, right? You need not to include only the plots and just send the report, it will get rejected. So you need to be careful. Whatever we are not asking you to put 10 numbers of plot. If you are putting limited number, 5 number of plot also, that is fine. But you should be able to explain that plot. There is a variation in the demands for particular reason, right? So there is a fluctuation in demand for this month. That might happen due to the rainy season. That might happen due to the seasonal trends. That might happen due to some festivals. That might happen because you see in term when the festivals are coming, the demands and supply are just fluctuating a lot, right? So in that sense, you need to identify, okay, these are the potential months where the demand fluctuations are more because of the vacations, right? So it depends. It depends upon business. I'm just giving you an example. It depends upon business to business, right? It's not something like a concrete thing. You need to focus it here. So these are the things we are focusing it on. So whatever you are giving in basically result section, you need to clarify everything. Okay. The another thing is that detailed explanation and analysis approach, right? So in this thing, so what you need to do is something. Suppose you have given a 3 problem statement, right? In the 3 problem statement, you are saying you are just forecasting something, right? Or you are putting ARIMA model, and some other algorithms for machine learning, right? To train your model, or you are putting a regression analysis, something you are putting, right? But if this analysis is not at all applicable to your business problem, suppose you are just doing a inventory analysis and you are just putting the analysis approach for forecasting, right? So if you have a demand or supply variation, right? So in that sense, you're putting something, some machine learning algorithm, but this is not at all related to your problem statement, right? So you need to justify. Suppose you are taking any other technique, if you are doing an inventory analysis, if you are doing a time series analysis, if you are doing a regression analysis, then you have to justify here. This is your problem statement number 1, and because this is something related to demand supply variation or inventory variation or your forecasting, like you need to do a forecasting here. That's why you are using this particular technique here. It's not something like generalized, you can just put it, okay, this is why we are using this technique. It is not something, because your problem is something like a specific, right? It is not a general problem. Then you have to clarify everything like in detail why you are taking this one, because what happens when you are going for a Viva, the examiner will ask you why you have used this technique. There are multiple techniques to use. Then you have to justify this thing. Okay, this is what exactly the technique is all about, and that is why I'm using this technique. I hope it is clear now. Okay,
So,
give a thumbs up.
sir, so, sir, in the results part, we have to make sure if we're giving charts, even though the data is correct, amazing, we have to make sure there's enough storytelling and there's enough like analysis, like given insight, like actual.
Correct. You should have,
in the
because
detail.
what happens when you are just connecting with the business owner, they are also expecting the same thing from you, right?
Yeah, like an actual, like someone should be, it should be
Correct.
readable and readable to an
Correct.
intelligent mind. And
So
secondly, and detailed analysis.
I'll share you a book. Just give me a minute. I hope the
That is what is.
book is visible now to all. So this
Yes,
is a
sir.
book we have made. So this is 250 pages book, what we are telling you, right? So if you just go at the end of this book, so here we have covered everything, each and everything, right? What exactly the business problem. We have covered some of the interviews also, like it's a pizzeria shop from previous student. He did a project. He explained how he find out the business problem, what are the potential business problem, how he collected the data. Everything is there in this, right? So if you go through this book, we have given you some sample reports as well. So you can refer the books, you can refer the interviews, whatever is there. So these interviews are from different segment. It will help you to get a understanding how you have to. So this is a report, right? This is a report of previous student. So he is Subramaniam. He is, I think, 65-year-old, and he got a best project award, right? So he did like you see here, he how he explained, like if it is a CNC, right? So what exactly the CNC means? Like if it is someone is not from a technical domain, he don't know what CNC is, right? What MC he's using, machine for a shortcut of abbreviation machine, right? He included all the things. So this is something like a metadata where you can give information about your data. Like if you put CNC only, nobody will know about CNC, right? So you need to explain what exactly your abbreviations you are using here, right? So this is executive summary So if you see here, so these are the problem statements, right? So he just formulated a problem statement based on the interviews or based on the interaction with the business owner, and then he will come up, okay, these are the main problem statement. So this is something like for MSME shop. That is what I'm saying. It is of a different domain, right? So if you see here, so these are the analysis approach he is using. So if you see here the plots, he explained each and everything. So he gave the detail of every plot. It is not something like he's putting a plot and just moving ahead. He is giving explanation what exactly this plot is meant of, right? So you can see here. So these are the plots he has given. After then he explained how how this is varying, if there is a random fluctuation, why it is happening, right? So this is how you have to make your report. If I can just show you one more report, that is something, yeah. So you can see this is healthcare business, right? So this is a different business segment. So the problem statements are different for this, right? So I just suggest you all to go through this book. You'll get a detailed idea how to make your report, how to identify a business problem. There might be the case. So if you can see, it's a textile manufacturing business, right? These are the business problems he quoted it here, right? What are the type of approaches he's using? He included here. These are the type of approaches he's using, right? After then he explained everything in detail. So these things you have to go through, and then you have to just make your report. So you have sufficient things with you. Just try to refer the books and all. You'll get more of idea, yeah, to make your report. Yeah. So this is fine from my side. I think one more thing I need to cover here is the doubt some of you are having, right? Is something related to executive summary, right? So executive summary, most of the students are thinking that is same for all the report, but it is not, right? There should be a difference between the executive summary, right? So executive summary is something like it's basically a summarize of your, like if you just read a story book, right? So before the story book or some technical book, right? So there is some one paragraph, right, which explain what should be the content of this chapter, right? Similar way, when you are having a proposal, the content of the proposal is different, right? So executive summary represents the summary of your particular report. If it is a proposal, what should be the content of your proposal? You have to write in a short way, in a crisp way, right? So that if I don't want to go through whole report, I can just go through your executive summary and I'll understand what is the content of your report is, right? What are the different things you're covering in your report, right? So in
So
that
what about
sense,
the people who are not good at English?
that is, we are not checking English, right? So we are not here to check the English. If you see, we are not perfect in English, right? So it is fine. We are
But
not.
then what if
See,
you
I'll
have
I'll,
bad
I'll
English
answer
and
your
use
question.
ChatGPT
No, don't use ChatGPT, because what happens when you use ChatGPT is you start writing with ChatGPT. What you can do is, even if you are having a normal Word document, write it on your own. Spelling errors are okay, right? What happens when you use the ChatGPT is you just want to use that. Just write with basic word. Whatever errors are there, it will kind of highlight and show you this is grammatically incorrect. Try to correct with that. The more you use ChatGPT, what happens is that you will excessively rely on that. Avoid it. Okay,
I
so that
agree.
is something which you all have to avoid. Don't use ChatGPT. Just write whatever you know in your own words. Okay, if it is you're thinking in Hindi or in Malayalam or Tamil, think in your native language and then write it. Okay, then give it a
So
read.
we are not
That's the
being
best
judged.
practice.
Yeah, so
Pardon?
we're not being judged on our language, like,
No,
or
no, no. We're not judging you on your language unless and until it is extremely bad, which is not at all readable. Then obviously the report will be
yeah,
rejected, right? basic things that you write is fine for us, right? Write it in a language which you understand. It is fine.
Yeah, got it.
So one thing I want to ask is,
Yeah, we can take the question now. Just wait for a minute. If you people have any of the doubts, you can just uh, till now with respect to this whatever I have explained, just let me know so that I can just clarify the things to you, and then we can move ahead with the questions.
so
So
yeah,
we have also shared the feedback forms. Please do
Yeah,
fill
yeah.
it because it helps us, gives us an opportunity to know what you want and do more sessions. So
Yeah, so
please fill
what
in
type
this
of
feedback
sessions
forms.
you want, like what things you need to include in the session, you can just because this is something like we are sharing in every session so that we can get a feedback. Previously we got a feedback of a one-to-one interaction uh, after the session and inputs from your side via the feedback form. That's why we included a boot camp sessions now in this term, so that you can have an interaction one-to-one with the expert mentors. So these things will help us to understand, okay, what exactly the perspectives and what you want from our side, right? So
Yeah.
to design it.
For
And one more
example,
thing that I would like to add is
sir,
everybody says that one second. One thing that I would like to add.
Now I'll go in a sequence so that everybody will get an opportunity and it should be justified to all. I'll not take our random questions because so many people are waiting since long. They have raised their hand. Yeah. So I'll just go with Darsh Yadav.
yeah, so I just want to ask here. My brother is in Gale company head secretary. I asked him about the BDM project. He told me they are hiring a team for data analyst, and he will ask about me to gain their data and organize it and have questions over there in Gale company. So can
Okay.
I? Should I
Yeah,
take
you can take it.
this
I
opportunity?
that is what we told you, Darsh. We don't have any problem. You can take any of the data. You don't have any issues. But you should be confident enough. Like the data you are getting, it should be a business problem. Because if you are taking a data, you are analyzing, you are making your report. At last, you are able to know, like, okay, this is not a business problem. Then it is a disappointing situation for you as well, right? So just try to validate. Just try to send submit a proposal. From there you are able to know, okay, whatever you are quoting, it's a business problem or not in the first stage, right? So you can take, we don't have any issues, you can take a data from any places, right?
Yes, sir. I would ask him to what kind of data they will provide me, and I will share you on mail that I
You
should.
can share, but it is very, we have nearly 4,500 plus students. If everybody is going to
Yeah,
send us the email, it is very difficult for us to address. So just try to work
yeah,
on this. If you have any critical problem, we have a Sunday meetings, right? Every Sunday we have a
yeah,
meeting, so we can discuss it
yeah,
over here instead of, because we are getting a lot of emails that is related to
yeah,
different reports, so it is not possible for us to respond certain emails. Sometimes it skips because I am in a different time zone, Ashwin is in a different time zone, and you are in a different time zone. So when we are
yeah.
waking up in the morning, we are getting nearly 150 or 200 mails a day. So it is very difficult to scan all the mails and see what
Mhm.
exactly the issues are there.
Yeah. Okay, so should I go through the company mail data?
Are you there, or I'll just go to Ariman?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the session. So I had one small question.
Yes.
Now, say uh, I am I have a startup, for example,
Okay.
and it's lesser than 6 months old.
Uh-huh.
Now, can I work on say any business problem in my own startup, or
Mm-hmm.
is it not, because it's only 6 months old? I might not have enough data to judge what exactly a business problem might be.
Mm-hmm.
Would you suggest to take any other business, say from a medical shop or something like that, which is very feasible, or can I work on a business statement on my own startup, which is lesser than 6 months old?
That is fine. That is a good opportunity. Like if you already have a startup, it is a good opportunity for you to just find out the bottlenecks in your business. Otherwise, mainly the startups are focusing on expanding the business. They are not finding it out, okay, what exactly the existing problems are there, right? So
Yes.
I'll say, like, it is good. Like if you have a 6 months data also, like you can just try to visualize if something is coming up from the data, and on the basis, like if it is there, like try to find out, okay, what exactly the bottlenecks you are facing it on, and how you need to resolve it, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
it
sir.
is
Thank you.
fine. It is fine. Yeah, Bhumika.
Yes, sir. So the business which I'm working like is both B2C and B2B.
Okay.
So how should I do with like which data I have to select?
You
Or
can
I
just
can select both.
you can if it is a B2B and B2C, like you can just take both the things also. It's not an issue. Like, but it depends like what type of data they are giving you. Like if they are giving you B2B data, it is fine. If they are giving you B2C data, then it is also fine. If they are giving both data, then you can have a broader, like you can have multiple problem statement in that sense. You can see like how the markets are, how you are getting a demand supply variation with respect to B2B, and you can just go and compare with respect to B2C. So you can do both the things. Like it depends upon availability of the data, what type of data you are getting. It's a B2B they are giving or B2C they are giving, right? And on the basis of that, you can just try to find it out. Like, okay, what exactly the business problems you are having, right?
So if they're willing to give it like both the data, I should go with both.
You can go with both. You can go with it because you will be on a safer side. If something like it's not coming from B2B, you can have data to complete a project on a B2C segment, right? Just try to get a data, find out the business problem, analyze the data, whether something is coming from the data or not. Just try to visualize it, and then you can just go with that, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
I'll just
Thank you
give you
so
an
much.
example. I'll just give you example to all. I usually give this example in every session. So this is pretty interesting. Like if you just watch a movies, there is a something like a thriller movies, right? So how the cops are doing. If some of the some incident happened, right? So they are just making a board, and in that board they're putting a different dots, right? And they're trying to connect a dot. So this is something like they're visualizing the data. They don't know exactly who is the person who did this incident, but they are trying to connect a dot and they're finding out and they're analyzing. So this is the best way to just analyze your data before you are just finding out a business problem after consultation with the business owner. So try to do this activity. Maybe you can just take a printout of the data and plots, just put it on the boards and just stand it and see it is looking like, what exactly the problems are looking like. And then you can discuss. So this is something like you can do a pre-study where you can after then you can discuss with the business owner. Okay, these are the things I am finding it on your business, right? Is it correct? So in that sense, what happens? He's also getting a confidence. Okay, the person to whom I'm giving a data, he is just working something on my data, right? So he will cooperate you more in that sense. Got it? I hope it is clear till now. Whatever we have discussed, it is clear to all. Yeah, great. Okay. I'll just go with Sneha.
So, my question is about the planning of the project. You were talking about the Gantt chart and the WPS.
Yeah.
So, I was asking that how we will understand that how much should we deliver at the start of the project. We don't even know the if
Yeah.
the problem
So
statements are going to work or not. So,
great.
how we are going to do that?
This is a good question. I'll give you answer for that. So the thing is that, like, if you have some structure on your mind, right, you can follow. If you know the via Google Map, you can able to connect the roads, right? So you have some ideas. Okay, this road is connected to this, and this is the path you need to follow, right? But if you don't have anything, like in the places when we don't have a Google Maps, we are asking with the people from where I need to go with this place, right? I need to reach this place from where I need to go. Sometimes it happens you are not able, for nearly kilometers, you are not able to get any person who can guide you, right? But sometimes it happens you will get a person to guide you, right? So this is what happens when you are making a Gantt chart. You can have a structure, at least a basic structure on your mind, how you need to go with the project. Because if you don't know what path you need to follow, then you can deviate from your path. So this is the main motive of Gantt chart, so that you can have a understanding. Okay, this is okay. So this is the best thing. Like you can just have understanding. Okay, this is what exactly the timelines might not be correct sometimes because you are getting rejected, but you can have a structured way on which you can work on a project. Like you can say, okay, 2 months I need to find out a business, and I need to give a 2 months before submitting a proposal to interact with the business owner to find out a business problem, and then after 2 months I'm ready to just go ahead with the proposal or submission reports and complete the project in this particular time. So at least you can have some timelines or some pathways which you need to follow, right? If you need to climb on a second floor, you need a stairs to follow, right? You can't just jump it directly and just go to the second floor. Got my point?
Sir, I got that, but how we will know that how much data, how much time we will need to collect that data? Like, if we are collecting for certain problem, and we don't know if 1 month is sufficient for solving that problem or not. So
So
how we will
the
create a
proposal when you are submitting, right? So at the proposal stage, you need to give a business problem. It means you have a data. You have something in your hand, right? It is not something like nothing in your hand and you are submitting a proposal. When you have something in your hand, then only you are going to submit a proposal.
Sir, like in my case, what the problem is, I have data, but what my problems are not uh, getting solved through those. So I
Okay.
have to create the data by like creating the data by the way you have told us, like
Okay.
telling the shop owner to give me this metadata to get somewhere.
Okay.
So I don't know how much time it will take to understand the proper problem, because the shop owner also don't know what is the problem. So we have
Yeah.
to identify that, and then we have to go for how much time it will take
Correct.
to
Correct.
solve. Yeah, so
So
that's
this
my
is fine. This is fine, Sneha. The thing is that you are providing a Gantt chart in your proposal, and from the proposal you are just saying like, okay, this from the proposal I've submitted a proposal now, and from proposal this is my plan to complete a project. Like after a proposal, you are taking 1 more month to analyze the data, right? You need to find out what exactly the analysis approaches are you need to submit. So you need 1 month in your hand to submit, so you can submit in this particular cycle or this particular month, right? After then, okay, once you are confirmed with the data and everything, then you need 1 more month to prepare your final report. So this is how you need to structure it. It's something like what you are saying. It is a pre-activity. You need to find out a business problem, and then you need to submit a proposal. So the thing is that the timelines should be your next course of action. When you identified a business problem, when you are confident in them, you already have a data. So how much time you need to analyze the data, right? You need to put that thing in the Gantt chart. So okay, this is the time I need to understand about the data. If you already did it, you need not to mention here. You have to go in a flow, one by one, back to back. 1 month you can submit a proposal, next cycle you can submit a midterm, next cycle you can submit a final, and then you can exit with a project, right? So this is how you need to plan. Got it?
so
So
can I
Aditya,
get
I would like to add one thing. So Sneha, what I would say is that when you are joining this particular program, you have a brief understanding, right, as to when you will be completing it, right? So most of the times, 99% you are on time, but this can vary also. Let's say that you don't get the data or you have a rejection, it can vary. But the basic idea with which we give you the Gantt chart is to just give you a practice of how it is being done, how a planning is done. At the end, when you complete the project, you can see your plan versus actual, how it worked. Did it work as per that, or there was a discrepancy in that? So that is a learning for you also to know, where things went wrong, what you had planned, and where things went wrong. You understand?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
I was asking, like, I'm really new to this. So how to create a Gantt chart and
It is
WBS
easy.
in
You can just go to YouTube and search it. If not, just go to
uh,
Excel, just populate things, and
Yes.
in those Excel thing, you can do it no immediately. You don't even have to do many things. One
Yeah.
is there is a Microsoft project, MS project. Through that you can do. If that is not possible, then simply go to Excel and create one. Just jot
In
down all the
Excel and
activities.
PPT also
Yeah,
you can
PPT you
create.
can also
Handling
do
is
it. It's just a chart, right? That's it.
you need only to
like
put a timeline, right? You need to make a table
okay.
and then you need to populate it according to your plan.
Yeah, and one more mistake that I see from students is they'll write April, May, June, or week 1, week 2, week 3 without writing this thing. So write the month. then split it week wise, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then how it will go. So this will kind of also give you an idea that how it is progressing. Okay.
Okay, so I'll take another question now from Ayushi.
Declaration part. If I want to change from primary to secondary in the declaration, do I have to raise a ticket because it's showing? I think I don't have to change from the ticket. I don't have to raise because
No,
it's
if you
I
want to
am
switch
the
from primary
beginning.
to secondary, you need to submit a ticket, because what happens when you're switching, your previous submission has to be deleted, right? Your primary reports need to be deleted, and
I
you
am
need to.
doing first time. I'm
You
doing
are doing a
first.
first time, you are getting option. When you are registering for submission, you are getting a Google form where you need to just opt whether you are just going for
No,
primary
no,
or
I
secondary.
mean first time I am doing BDM project. So in the declaration part only, if I change from primary to secondary and then fill everything and then submit proposal and all, then ticket I don't.
Thing, then you are through with the project, right? For a secondary also, we have proposal, final, and then we have a viva.
In Viva only the presentation is to be presented, no?
Correct. Yeah, you need to present everything in your whole report. Whole project needs to be present during the viva. And one more thing, I just want to emphasize and want to tell you all is something like it's very important from the future perspectives when you're switching or you are going with a job. Just try to record the events, every events, right? Because the thing is that when you're going for a job, it will be a good experience for you. You can showcase like the things. It's something like we always say, it's a journey where you are starting from scratch. Multiple things are improving in your personality or your skills also. It is not something like only a data science, it is something like a communication as well. When you're communicating a business owner, how you're going to negotiate them to get a data, right? And just post project also, you can take a testimonial from the business owner. That testimonials are pretty important when you're pitching for a new job opportunity. You can showcase like, this is what I have done the project and this is what the testimonials I'm getting from a business owner, right? So this is pretty important. Like maybe so this is a start for you all. Just try to do this activity from a starting as well.
So
And
for data
one thing that I would like to emphasize here is that, as Dr. Aditya mentioned, this is a journey. If you kind of do it well, this is going to up your CV. But if you do it just for the sake of formality, then it is of no use. So if you do it really well, it is also an opportunity for you when you go somewhere to kind of show it on your job talks or something, because people look for projects and not for the S grades or anything like
They
that.
will
Okay,
not
that is, yeah,
in the basically interview, they will not ask you to drive the algorithm or machine learning, or how you have
yeah,
how you are just taking a data and just training the model, just write a code. Sometimes they'll ask you for coding, but most of the time they'll ask your practical application where you are applying your classroom learning to some live data or something, right? Because when you're joining the company, they'll give you a live project. So if you have a hands-on experience, it will be adding a benefits for you as well, and it will enhance your CV, right? So this is the main point. Maybe people will consider upon and just
yeah.
take it seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more point that I would like to emphasize here is when you come to every session, please prepare and come. I mean, don't simply, I mean, just come like that. We have given you the orientation session video, we have given you some documents, go through it. Most of the questions that you guys are asking is very, very basic. So, what happens when you ask basic question? It defeats the purpose. Every
Right.
session, any session, because now you are all in IIT Madras program. When we have our classes, what we expect our students is to, when I teach or Aditya teaches, we expect students to read and come, right? So that is why we give things in advance. But once at least the orientation is fine, but after next session onwards, it's the responsibility of you guys to read things and come, and that will result in better discussion. And you can ask us pointed questions. We can also give you better answers, right? This is
So it
something which I would
happens like if
advise.
you are asking the questions we have already repeated, the other person will not get a sufficient time to just discuss his problem, technical problems, right? So it will be better like we can in the session, Sunday session, if you have more of the technical things, I will be happy to address it, right? Because this is the opportunity where you can just ask you in front of me or Dr. Ashwin, right? What exactly the problem you are facing on. But if you just struck with the operational things which is already there, the other person is losing a chance to discuss more on his technical points, right? So yeah, it will be more useful like if you just refer the timelines, the rubrics, the pattern of the project. So you will get a more time to just discuss your problems, right? Technical problems. If you find any issues with the communication with the business owner, you can just discuss and we can have a discussion. I'll just give you some insight. Dr. Ashwin will give you some insights. So it might be helpful for you to get a data, right? So instead of asking what is the timeline for summation, what is the pattern of the project, because we have already covered, you can refer the videos. Anyways, it's fine.
Sir, for data representation and PPT presentation, MS Excel and MS
This is
PowerPoint is
I don't want to
suggested.
answer this. This is very I'm not sure like what to answer. So it is a basic thing. Like if you want to present something, there is a document. I think you can just refer the document we have there in the portal, where we have already mentioned what should be the content of your Viva, right? So what should be you need to cover in your Viva? How should you need to make a PPT? Everything is there. It is a very silly question. You have to make a PPT in a PowerPoint presentation or in Excel. I'm not sure like how to answer this. Maybe I'll switch it to other questions. Sohani.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, the thing is, I live in a hostel, and the students of the hostel are constantly dropping out every year. So, can I make that into a problem statement? Although the hostel is not exactly a business per se, but they file their annual returns every year. So, can I
Correct.
use the
Yeah,
hostel
you can
data?
just go ahead, because if the students are dropping it from the hostel, right? So the basically there are certain fees the hostel is getting on. The other can mute yourself. So yeah, so in that sense what happens, at anyhow it is affecting the revenue for the hostel, right? So hostel development fees, other fees is, so you can just quantify, okay, this much students are dropping per year, so what exactly the losses the hostel is getting on in terms of mess fees, in terms of other fees is. So you can just forecast that thing.
Sure, sir. And sir, instead of hostel, if I, for example, go with a NBFC or consulting firm, which is a finance consulting in itself, so in that they don't have any products. Their job is to like solve people's queries. So what
Yeah,
kind of
that is coming
data
under
can I collect
services. So
from
that
that?
is
Services.
coming under services. How much frequencies of service issues are coming out? What is its impact on satisfaction? What is the churn rate? What is the downtime? How many resources are needed to fix all this? We will be doing a session on this too. So we'll be
Okay,
explaining
sir.
this there as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll go with Sarthak.
Yeah, my question was that I have submitted my final report for the secondary route in the month of May, and the in the rejection remarks, the TA mentioned that I need to share my collab link where I've done most of my analysis. So my question was that is it okay to make it public and share the
No,
collab
don't
link?
make it public. You can just give access to yeah, you can just give access to particular email ID, or
It's
if
access
you
to
make,
IITM, access to IITM, study.iitm. This thing. It
because
is
the
only
thing is that
accessible to us.
because the thing is that you don't make it public, because if somebody will take a data and they can make a report, it will be a plagiarized case for you. So just give a access to IITM only and just share the link. So once it is done, your report is done, just make it personal, private, right? Just try to convert it in a private form.
Okay, so in share, I'll just select the share with all the IITM emails.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that
So we only have access, right? Because you're providing a link to us. At anyhow, we are only the one who is able to access your link, right? So it is fine. No issues at all.
yeah? Okay. That's all.
Yeah,
That was thank you, sir.
no problem. Yeah, Muttu
Yeah,
Manish.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so I just have two questions. So
Okay.
in the last orientation session, I actually attended from, I think, 10 minutes delayed, I think, and the first part was not recorded. So I just
Mhm.
have this question. So at what part of the project should we choose, if it's a primary or secondary part? Because I think you mentioned Google Form and also there is a BDM portal. So is there two things where we have to
No, so the
choose?
BDM portal itself, once you are starting a project, right, and you
Mhm.
are just going for a submission, so the portal will register your detail, right? So in
Mhm.
that sense, the portal will ask you what type of analysis approach you are going to use, what exactly the business you are. So it will create a database of yours, right? So that in future you need to submit, it will divert your part to primary or secondary.
Okay. Yeah. And then
So
the
it is
second
there in the
question.
portal itself. You don't have to worry. There is no different form, Google form. So it is a form which is included in the portal. Once you are starting with the submission, you need to fill the details, and then it will divert your part from primary to secondary as per your choice, whatever you have.
Yeah, clear. In second question, just so you mentioned that so we are going to do some analysis and going to suggest some improvements for the business to improve their status. So in that case, should the measures that we suggest should also be implemented, and then we should again collect the data and then validate that whether our suggestions are really improving the status of the business, or the project ends in the position where we just give suggestions to the business.
Yeah, so this is what in a final report you need to give a recommendation and interpretation of your results. So we are restricted to your final reports, but the thing is that if, as I told, like you need to just showcase your report to the business as well. This is what your major finding is all about. So you can just showcase to them. If it is a organized sector, if you want to present like to them, you can just present in a wider for a wider community of employees, right? So it totally depends upon you, right? How you want to deliver the things, whatever you are want to deliver with the business side, right? But for us, it is limited up to final report. We will give you the checks for the final reports, whether your recommendation are aligned, whether your results are aligned. Once it is finalized, you have a good opportunity to showcase it to the business.
Thank you, sir. That's it.
Somnath.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I just had a question that I submitted the proposal on 13th. It's still showing the status in
Yeah.
progress. Is it okay?
The deadline is 22nd. So up to 22nd, you will surely get a feedback. If you're not getting, just wait for 1-2 more days, or just drop us a mail after 22.
Okay, sir. Another thing is that you were mentioning about a book that has some data and stories. And where shall I get that
It is
book?
there in the portal. If you just go to the portal, there is a folder
Okay, sir.
named Documents. So it
Okay, sir.
contains nearly 15 documents. 15 to 20 documents are there, including a book.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful session.
Okay, Somnath. Have a good day. Tilwani.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, my question is, currently I'm working in a company. So it's an IT services and it's an IT service company. So in that case, during the orientation session, Ashwin sir said that if we are if we want to convert a technical problem into a business problem, then suppose if the customer which is providing solution, if he is not satisfied, or so how can we showcase that problem statement?
So what you have to do is, what I meant to say is that the technical problem will have an impact on business, correct? If there are technical glitches, it will lead to customer dissatisfaction or customer churn, right? So what you could do is, what were the nature of technical problems? What was the frequency of occurrences? What happened to the customer ratings? How many ratings came up? How many resources were deployed? You understand? All these things should be covered, a before and after thing.
Okay. But sir, in that okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just want to
Can you?
add something on that. So suppose you have basically, I'll give you an example, right? So if it is a failure from like, if you can say it's a Google Pay, right? If there is a failure in a Google Pay, so there is lakhs of rupees transaction is stopped, right, for particular time, right? So in that sense, if something is coming on basically from technical sides, you need a multiple resources. Suppose some bugs are coming in some of the software, right? But it is not basically removing. Then what you need to do? You can't wait it for a longer time. You need to take action, and you need to, if it is necessary, you need to purchase a different platform or something, like you need to arrange, and you need to just run for a particular time, right? Or you can have a multiple segments, right? It's something like a branching you have. Okay. So it is something like you have multiple options. Like in case if this option is becoming off, then you have a second option to just reroute your process. So in that sense, what exactly the resources, how much resources it values, right? This thing you need to quantify. Thing you need to bring up in your project, right? If there is a bug, right, in a project. So if there is a bug in a portal, right, it doesn't mean we are just changing the portal and it will be rectified. But if it is a bug in some company side where the transactions are stopping, so it affects the business a lot. So I can give you an example. So you can take phone pay, Google Pay, and some other platform, whatever is there. So if frequent bugs are coming in, suppose I'm giving an example in phone pay, right? In that sense, what exactly the phone pays customers usually do, they'll switch it to some other platform, they'll switch it to Google Pay. If a lot of bucks are coming in Google Pay, right, they are switching it to phone pay or some other platform, they are opting for some other resources, right? If you can just implement the fees, transaction fees, right, transaction fees in Google Pay, that is much higher than phone pay, but you are getting the same facilities. Both are tech based companies or IT based companies, right? So in that sense, the customer switches from here to there. Like if frequent bugs are coming in a platform, then the customer retention is reducing. The previous customers are not retaining in your business. They are just trying to find some option and they are switching it on, right? So it affect the business, right? Directly affect the business. So this is how you need to see, like, okay, because of these bugs, how many times the bugs are coming, first thing. So if it is coming frequently, there might be the case you need to see, okay, how many customers are retained in a month, right? How many customers are switching into different platform? How many customers are not using your platform? So this will give you idea and understanding, okay, because of these bugs are coming, we are losing this much customers, and because of that, we are losing this much profits or the sales or something like basically. What my point?
So yeah, so actually it's a product development firm which is building POS, point of sale. So for its clients. So in that case, if we are if they are actually trying to build the software products for the clients. So in that, if some other client is not visiting my site, or if there are any issues if in our product that we have delivered, software product, so that kind of issues we can
Yeah. So it is, if I'm not wrong, it is a B2B, right? In B2B, it's a B2B, right? So in B2B, you should be very precise because it's a very competitive market, right? So two things you need to focus it on: optimization of the prices, right? Because it goes with the bidding, and L1 will get an opportunity, right? The first thing is that in B2B. The other thing is that if you have a unique product, nobody has that product, then it's a monopoly in the market, right? So if you want to exist, if you have a product which multiple companies are offering on, then you need to work on optimization of the prices and your services, right? So in that sense, you need to see, like, okay, if you are just using a parallel computing, right? If it is, if you want to optimize the system, if you are using a parallel computing for nearly 10 systems, so is it possible to optimize that thing to 5 systems, five clusters, right? 5 clusters. If it is possible, then 5 cluster cost you are going to reduce, right? So that cost will help you to reduce the prices, or help you to quote the lesser prices when you want to take a order in your hand, right? So in that sense, you need to find out like what exactly the ways you need to go, how you should be competitive in the market, how you can optimize the basically resources to reduce the prices, right? To quote a prices, right? Product price. So these things you need to think of and you need to work on.
Okay, basically it's an e-commerce platform which is trying to build the products from scratch for the customers. So
Yeah.
in that case, we have to look at the
Yeah.
issues.
So the thing is
What
that you need to find it out, like how you can optimize the prices first thing, because there are multiple companies which are providing the same services, right? So if the service failures happens, so B2B, they are very particular. If it is happening a service failure frequently, they'll just switch it to the different platform or different companies. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Shreyas.
Hello, sir. I have a doubt regarding you said that there is no language barrier in this. So I have I have one distributor in my native place who is distributing. Uh, he get the bulk products from the company, bakery products, and he distribute those in small shops and all. So I am collecting data and everything from him.
Okay.
So I think it is kind of a B2B business. And I have doubt how can I do it with that person.
So I'm not sure like what you want to communicate. I'm not sure. So what type of thing you are expecting from? You can just directly go through and take the data, discuss with them what exactly the business problem is having
Yeah.
on.
Okay, sir. I will do that. And one another problem is he might not be the fluent in English, and the
That is
whatever
fine.
the
So you can record a. We already told you can record a videos in your local language, but it should be authenticated. It should be on official place, right? So you can
yes, sir.
record in any of the language. It is fine. Local language is also fine. You can give a subtitle so that we can understand what exactly is coming on the communication side.
Okay, fine, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Soumya Singh.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yes, sir. My question is regarding the result section in Enterm.
Okay.
So, sir, I'm trying to approach a wholesale medical business, and
Mm-hmm.
being a B2B business, the time for seeing results after identifying a problem is generally longer due to
Mm-hmm.
complex decision-making process. So, uh, we have a time crunch of 3 months, and
You don't
so,
have a. We don't have a restriction. 3 months is a one term, right? So it is not something like you
yeah,
have a time only for 3 months. So you have
sir.
a one
Actually,
term for 3 months, and then
this is
you can acquire the term.
this is my last term for diploma level.
Okay.
So that's why if I want to go to the degree level in the next term, I should complete this uh, project in this term only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why
Then you need to think
uh,
about it. Like if we are not able to comment on it because if you are thinking this is last term, you should be work very precisely, right? So that you are able to complete it. You don't be in a hurry because if you submit everything in a hurry, there might be the case it will get rejected. So your course of action should be very precise now, right? Because if you want to complete it this term.
okay, so
Okay.
sir, is there any recommendations for that, like in B2B business, how to like see the results
That's what I
quicker?
told. That is what I told. We don't have any because you have a wider domain. I don't know what type of business it is, right? So we don't know the segment of the business because every segments are different, right? So the business problem originate when you are discussing with the business owner. Every business has a unique business problem, right? Just try to interact with him, try to find out the business problem and take a precise data. Don't take a whole data because it will be difficult for you to analyze if you have a lot of data, right? If we have hard disk, right? If we are putting everything junk in hard disk, it is very difficult to just clean and find out the main file, which sometimes we need to search it out, right? So in that sense, you should be more precise and just communicate with the business owner. Try to find out like what exactly the business problems they are having, and then you can just build up your reports and submit it. So don't wait for another cycle to come and make the report. Just once you are confident you have a data, you know the business problem, try to just make your all the reports ready by that time, right? And I'll also suggest that just don't wait for a last moment submission because if you stuck with the last moment submission, if something happens, then you are losing one cycle. So you have limited cycles in your hand.
Yes, sir. Sir, and one thing also that uh, there is the sales cycles of B2B business are generally longer. So
Mm.
even we know how to solve the problem, to see the result, it will take a much longer time.
Why it will take a much longer time? They already have a data. You don't want a data for next 1 year. You don't have to wait for next 1 year. You need to
Okay,
take a for a previous year.
we can generally we can use the projection type like
You can't use a projector and create a data. That is something like you are doing a data manipulation. You're creating a data, hypothetical data on your own. It is not acceptable. So you can take a data for previous years, like previous 1 year or 2 years, whatever, how much it is possible. And from there, you need to do a forecasting analysis or you need to predict what exactly the pattern is, or that is fine. But you are not supposed to create a data.
Yeah, I meant forecasting only.
Yeah, you can project it. Yeah, if you have a sufficient, because for training a model also you can't train a model for a 2 months data based on 2 months data, right? At least you can have a data for a 2 year or 3 year. Then only you can do proper forecasting.
Yeah, I'm thinking of taking a 2-year data for that.
That's fine. You need to check like how the results are coming.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Jatish, Himanshu, Jatish. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Just let me know what exactly you are
Yeah,
doing.
hello. So, I'm willing to perform this project on my father's shop. He is a shopkeeper for almost more than 20 years, and it is a general store. And the problem I'm getting is there are a lot of I don't have the data, but I'll have to create it like just you said earlier by giving a page and document. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the thing is like there are so many things in a general store, like literally 200, more than 300 items. So can I just categorize the items like on basis of their like cosmetic, footwear, and other daily routines? Like I can make 4 to 5 columns instead of getting a lot of data.
Yeah,
Can I use less?
it is fine. It is fine. So that is what you are doing in a data cleaning, right? You are not taking all the data things. You are just trying to clean a data with performing or non-performing variables, and then you need to just analyze the data based on the performance, right? Variable performance. So suppose if I can take variable X, right? For nearly a month, the sales of variable X is nearly 1% of our total revenue or 0.1% of our total revenue, then it is feasible. It is not feasible to do continue with the same product because it is not giving at least a revenue for you. It is something looking like inventory for you for a years where your money is blocked.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Or like right. Other thing is like instead of going for the exact numbers of revenue or the can I just use the percentage quantities like contribution?
You can use anything. So it depends upon your analysis approach you are using on. So it is not something like it depends on suggestion. So it's basically that is why you have a different columns in your different segment in your rubrics where you need to explain what exactly you are going to use, what type of analysis approach you are going to use for to analyze your data, right? If it is a percentage wise or if it is a time series wise or if it is a regression type, right? What type of analysis it depends, like it varies from project to project and from person to person, right? From student to student, it varies.
The reason to choose this because I myself working
You need
in.
to explain this. You need to explain this reason in the report.
Okay, right. Thanks a lot.
Imanshu,
Yeah, good evening, sir. So my concern is that I'm approaching a dairy shop for the data,
okay.
and one of my friend approached the same shop in the previous term. So can I approach the same shop?
You can approach the same shop, but the data should not and the problem statement should not be same.
Like sir,
It should be
my friend, yeah, my friend used the 3 months data. I guess till the February. I'm looking for a 6 month data.
no,
So for
no.
the
Then
six month
it
data,
is the point of conflict. You it should be flagged as a plagiarized. Your if you are taking a same business, your problem statement should be exactly different from what she has quoted. It should be same because if you are taking a same problem statement, only you are changing a data, right? You are getting everything from the same from that report, even the plots and everything, and the report will be same. So it will be flagged as a plagiarization.
no, sir, no, not the problem statement, but the data. Because he took the 3 month data, I'm taking the 6 month data. And for the 6 month data, there will be conflict in the last 2 or 1 month data.
That is fine. That is what I'm saying. So Himanshu, so the thing is that you can take a data, right? But your problem statement should not be same as the previous your friend has taken a data. It should be different, right? It should not be same problem statement. So you can take a data,
Yes.
just try to work on a different problem statement, and then you can just submit your report. When you are submitting your proposal, just send us both the reports so that we can validate. Okay, your thing and your friend thing is different, right? Otherwise, it got plagiarized, and just try to save yourself from the plagiarized case or plagiarism, because if you just your report is flat, then it will be a waste. So, we will suggest you don't just go with that process, because it is something like if it is caught, it is a waste of time. So there is a term penalty where you are not supposed to start you submit your or continue your project for a term, and then you have to start with a new business. So we strongly suggest don't follow that approach. It wastes your time.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, Ikram.
Yes, sir. Sir, suppose I collect the data from a business
Mhm.
and I identify two or three problems in it. I mention them in my proposal as problem statements, and later I realize that one of that problem requires either much deeper analysis, or it's something like it's not solvable from
Mhm.
by just analysis. Uh, so can I
Yeah, so
drop
that
out?
says, yeah, so that is why we are telling, like, if you're quoting a three problem statement, suppose if you are getting a data for two and one is not working, then in the next basically submission, you need to say, like, these are the problem statement I have taken in the proposal, and because of these issues, I'm not able to continue with one of the problem statement, and I'm continuing with this two particular problem statement. You need to justify that thing, right? But otherwise, the
Yes, sir.
TA will get confused. He'll say, like, you're quoting three problem statement in the proposal, and now you're using only two problem statement. So it will be a point of conflict. So you need to justify it properly.
Okay, sir. I mean, I can continue with the midterm if I give a
You
proper
can,
justification that I'm
yeah,
dropping
you
out
can
from this
continue.
problem statement.
If your problem statements are fine in your midterm, if you're not finding it out, like, okay, one problem statement is not able to work, then you can just put a
No,
remark on,
I'll start with two or three problem statements, and
yeah,
later, if
for a
I
safer
realize
side,
that
always suggest.
something is not solvable, then I'll drop out
Absolutely
from
fine.
it by giving a proper justification and
Absolutely
go with
fine. No
midterm.
issue. No
Okay,
issue.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Aryan?
Okay. Good evening, sir. First of
Yeah.
all, thank you for this session. So actually, sir, one of my known is working as a sales manager in a bank,
Mhm.
and I want to do analysis for him, not directly to the bank. Like as a sales manager, the team is working under him, and so I have formulated some problems like enhancing team performance, increasing sales of the mutual fund, bonds, and share,
Mhm.
optimizing lead to conversion process. So can it be considered as a business problem? Because
It
bank
looks
is
like it looks like, because you are just taking you are analyzing the basically mutual funds, right? But you need to see, like, how it is performing, like how the sales are going on for a mutual fund as well, like on a monthly basis or a yearly basis, which is performing good. Then you can just have a strong thing in your project, right?
like his subordinates are selling this to the customer, as the bank is considered as a service based sector, so
Yeah.
not
So
directly
from there
bank
you
is
are
not.
able to find it out, like basically what type of mutual funds are working fine, or what type of mutual funds are not working fine, right? This will give you an idea. From a stats, you'll get an idea, and you can correlate this thing with the financial aspects.
Okay,
But
so
it looks,
one
yeah, look fine.
so one more thing I wanted to ask, like as I'm not directly contacting with the owner of the bank, so can the sales manager be the representative
Yeah, so
of the bank?
you need not to take a testimonial from the owner. It's not possible. So what you can do, the next person who is giving your data, you have to just authenticate that person. You need to submit a ID of that person. If you are taking a
Okay.
video of that person, you can just official. If you are taking a Google meeting, just try to conduct a meeting on an official email ID, right? So these are the things you need to follow.
Can he be the close relative of me, like my brother or
Anything
cousin?
is fine, but basically you need to authenticate him like he is working in a
Okay.
bank. Particular, you need to share his ID card, right? And he need to send a mail to you, or he or letter to you, like I'm giving him this particular data in a letterhead of a company or a bank, right? Then it is fine. It's not an issue.
And one last thing, sir. Suppose that I have mentioned 4 problem statement in the proposal. So do I need to solve all of them or just some?
Just now I cleared this to Imran. I think I'm not sure whether you are listening it or not. I
I
think
did listen,
before.
but suppose that I would not be able to do all the. So for that,
No,
I was.
that is what I suggested him, right? I just now I told to Ikram, right? You just follow the same thing. It's
Okay.
not possible to repeat for every student, right? You just try to
Okay. Sorry for that, sir.
I just take
And
another
one
question. It is getting late.
little thing, sir.
It
Little
is
question.
getting late, so I'll not take too much follow-up question because a couple of students are
So
there.
one more question, so last thing. So like in a proposal, I have to mention the owner's name. So what would I mention in that? Like the bank has
You
many
need to
branches
mention.
and
You
all.
need to mention the concerned person name. That is what I'm
See,
just saying.
it is also indicated in the document. You have to check the document. Everything is given. See, you guys, without checking the document, if you ask questions, it becomes difficult. Everything is provided in the document. Go back and refer to it.
Yeah. So
Okay, sir, thank you.
you should be aware, Arvind, because just I think before I address the question, you are asking the same thing, right? The thing is that other person will not get an opportunity to ask the question if you repeat everything again and again, right?
No, sure. I apologize for that.
No problem. Yeah, I'll take other question from Ajib.
Sir, I this is first time I am joining a diploma, just completed
Okay.
foundation. I had understood how to do the projects, but have some core doubts, especially after reading the grading document. First of all, we have to submit the proposal. Yes.
Yeah.
Then the midterm, then the final submission.
Correct.
Okay. But in June, the final submission is the first one coming. So
Yes.
we have
So it is from
to
final, midterm, and proposal.
So we have to just ignore final and midterm and start from proposal.
Then you can submit a proposal, right? You can submit a proposal in the next month. So the cycle is something like a reverse cycle.
Okay. One more question. When approaching business and recording the video, maybe the owner may not be present in shop. Can we talk to salesman only and without contacting the owner?
That is what I told to previously. I think Ayush and this Ikram. It's not necessary like you need to contact the owner. You can just connect with the person who is giving your data.
Okay, very thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Ashwin Kumar.
Hello, Aditya sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned that there would be a boot camp for midterm and a final submission.
Yeah.
So, is there any submission for? Is there any initiative for proposal submission stage?
No, proposal we cannot handle. We cannot handle so many. It's not possible.
Okay, so why am I asking is this because suppose if something went wrong, so in term of time, the rejection would be very brutal. So if there is some process where we can validate whether
No, we don't have anything for a proposal as of now because we don't have multiple peoples, right? Multiple mentors, expert mentors who handle the case. Right, and proposal is
If at the proposal stage you go wrong, despite going through the document, then it shows a clear gap in understanding. We have given a document. If you exactly follow it and write it the way we have said, it shouldn't be getting rejected. If it has been rejected, it ideally means that there is
that's
a
why.
huge gap in your understanding. No, it shouldn't be rejected. So you shouldn't worry. You have to attend the sessions, and then what you should be doing is you should be going through the documents and then make a submission. That's
Yeah,
what
so going through today's session, I was pretty much clear. Like you mentioned that business problem and that Gantt chart is what the focus should be there.
No, go back and check the orientation from the beginning. It's you have to check the orientation video first, check the documents, and check today's session. I think if you do 3 things, it's done.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Aditya, sir.
Ashutosh.
Sir, my doubt is what are the things which does not coincide in the Gantt chart? there are specific timelines which does not coincide in the
No,
Gantt
no,
chart.
Ashutosh,
What are
I
those?
have explained this. See, Gantt chart is the sequence, right? So the various sequences that are there, that is what timelines of the various jobs that you do. I have explained it in the orientation session. Go back and check it. So suppose what are the different jobs that you have? Meeting with the business owner, the key themes that you discuss, the data cleaning process, data analysis, insights, submissions. These are the things that is covered in the Gantt chart. Go back and check the orientation session video. I've explained what it is all about.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to the next question. Om Satya Jyoti.
Yeah, good evening, sir. So my question here is, the solution approach should be limited to the regression or the ARIMA forecasting or the or it can
No,
be
it is
extended.
not limited. It is not limited to this only. It is. I'm just giving you example. We just gave you example. These are the approaches. Might be you can use, but it depends upon you, like what type of data you are having, and you can just try the analysis approach by your own or by your own understanding. So it is not something
See,
like you need to use this.
basic things also you can do, right? Like basic descriptives you can plot and then kind of say what is going to happen next, or what is the current state, why is it less. All these things can be done. It's not like he just gave you example. Any analysis method you can use. Whatever you learned in BDM theory, or go back and check your stats
Yeah,
books.
whatever you have learned in your course till now, right? In BDM theory, in different courses, you are taking MLP, right? Other courses also you are taking, right? So I'm not sure like what are the things you have taken completed till now. So what is your learning from that project is from that course is? Just try to implement that thing here. This is something like application of your classroom understanding or your concepts.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sairaj Nandakishore.
Hello, sir. So, sir, my doubt is consider there is a manufacturing unit which makes a product. Now, for that they require labor. Now, based on this, I tell them which labor are skilled and which are unskilled. I tell them what is the loss you are facing due to unskilled labor, and I do this year-wise analysis and tell them that look at this year you have this much lot, at this year you have faced this much loss. Also, I then tell them you have worked with these employees and this was their performance card. I tell them if these employees come again to you, you can hire them, and if they are not, and based on that they can help in hiring. So, and I will not make means. I will give them just suggestion that you could do this to employ, you could apply this so that you could upskill your employees. So, sir, is it okay?
Yeah,
Means,
it is fine. It is fine. So I'm not saying like it is okay, but the thing is that it seems to be okay. You just try to formulate a proper business problem, right, and just submit a proposal.
so, sir, I will
But you are
do year.
bringing up a financial thing here, right? I'm not sure like how you are going to quote it in the problem statement. What type of data you are having, right? Just it fine. It looks good. You might go ahead and check in the proposal what you are getting a feedbacks. Yeah.
So,
So
so it would be a means past years analysis. Consider 4 or 5 years, and I tell them that this was
yeah,
the. So, is it okay?
it's fine.
Means I
Like
will
you can go.
perform
Maybe you can
Rubik's.
go ahead with this. You can go
Yes, sir,
ahead
I will
because
use Rubik's and all.
you already have a defined problem. You can go ahead and check while submitting a proposal. Don't wait for a longer time. If you have everything in your hand, just pitch it, submit the proposal, and from there you'll get a feedback whether it is
So, sir,
valid or not.
proposal we have to send it to you emails, right?
You
Or
don't have to send it to us. You have to submit a proposal in a portal via portal. Nothing has to be send it to us, right?
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
See, everything is via portal. You shouldn't send it to us. All the details are given in the documents. Again, to all those who are here, go through the documents, read it. Everything we have given.
Okay. So
Yes,
I'll
sir.
take
Thank you, sir.
other two questions. That is the Froze Alam and Balaji.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I am visiting a service center which is working for. It is a AC repair service and installation for Hitachi and Daikin.
Mm-hmm.
So can I work on that data?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can work. In fact, there are a lot of problems you can identify. What are the kind of common
Yes.
problems that comes in those things and
So
what they
I
do and
am
all that.
not getting any transaction details, sir. So
No, no, you have
What
to speak first,
services?
boss.
Yeah.
You have to speak to them first and try to understand what is happening. That is how you have to go ahead. First speak to them, identify what their problems are, and then ask data. If you ask transaction details first, what will you do? First speak to them, identify what kind of issues come, what kind of AC repair comes, whether it's a
Yes,
new one, what type
that
of it.
type of issue is from the data only. No
Mhm.
transaction is required. So I can
No,
work on the categorical all the things.
yeah, that's it. I mean,
You
go
just
through
go
that
ahead
and
and just put compile everything in the form of proposal and submit it. You'll get a feedback. I'm not sure like what type of data you are having, what type of problems the business are having. Just try to code it properly in the proposal and submit it. Because like that it is.
Sir, I can remove the some field, or if not required, like phone number things from that data.
phone number is not needed. Phone number
Not
is not at
needed,
all
but
needed. Why
the
do you
thing
need
is
phone
that you can
numbers?
put everything in a raw data because we don't want anything this thing, but it is not required. Raw data, whatever you have, you can just share it in the drive so that we can validate the things. Okay, these are fine. These records are authenticated records, right? So it is fine. You can
Okay,
just give us a raw data to just visualize, and then it is based on your understanding what are the analysis approach you want to use it, right?
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll just go with the two more questions. That is the
More question that is
Balaji.
the Balaji.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for your time. So I have read all the 14 documents which Ashwin sir has shared. I'm a working professional, and I wish to go for primary, but as everyone mentioned, data collecting data from the business people are really tough. When we try approached, okay, even my own I mean what to say, like in my own relatives, okay, when we try to approach them, they are saying we are putting crores of money and running the business. Do you think we don't know the problem? You are going to come and show us the fixes. How does
Okay.
it sound?
I will, Balaji, you attend my next session and I will be telling you specifically how you identify various problems, how you should reach out and all that. Any company will have problems, but
Yes,
the
sir.
way one solves a problem, there are different
Any
approaches,
company will have
right?
problems, but the way one solves the problem, there are different approaches, right?
Correct. And I
So,
have one request.
you attend the session on
You
21st.
you
I'll
attend
just
the
give you
session
some
on
detailed
21st.
guidelines on that.
Sure,
Okay?
I'll
sir.
just give you some detailed guidelines on that.
Sure, sir. So 21st, when it goes, the dates will always go after, like that we will miss the dates. Like secondary dates on 13th to 11 to 13, I guess. We will miss the dates, right?
So it is on
So
next
it
month,
is on next month,
21st May, I
21st
think.
May, I think.
Okay, May month. Okay, sorry for that. Sorry for that, sir. Sir, I have one request alone, sir. Sir, you guys
Yeah.
have explained about the secondary portion, but there is very limited explanation on the secondary side. It
Secondary
will be
portion, we don't
helpful.
have much of the things to explain.
What is your request?
The thing is
Just
that
show us
secondary
like
is
how
totally
you
depend
guys are
upon.
requesting to pull the data. Kaggle or GitHub, you guys are telling like, but I
See, if
mean,
you're doing in
some guidelines
secondary,
are there.
yeah. No, I'll explain to you what is to be done.
Yes,
Secondary,
sir.
if you're doing project by secondary, I think I'm getting a sound back. I think you'll have to.
Yeah, Ashwin, I think your voice is breaking. Okay,
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Balaji. So, yeah, Ashwin, I
I
think
think I have lost.
we lost the connection.
Sir, I understood is DMDE
Okay.
grades. Yeah,
Yeah, so the thing is that if you're going for a secondary data analysis, right, you have a limited resources. But as in orientation, we suggested we don't have any particular, we will not suggest you any particular resources, right? You can go to any, so it is something like ocean from where you can just go and collect a
Go
data.
and collect the data.
okay.
Right. So it is not
So
something
it is
like
not something
we
like
just
we
ask
will
you,
just ask
you
you,
go with this
you go with
company and
this
take
company and
data, you will go this with the resource and collect the data. You have a free hand, right? So it's
right?
something like
So
an
it's
open
something
book
like an
exam.
open book exam.
When you have a book,
When
you
you
can
have a book,
put
you
it
can
anywhere and just find out the solution of a question.
Okay.
Right.
Fine, sir.
Yeah, I'll just go with the next question. Swagato Mukherjee.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have submitted my proposal in the May term. I registered in the January term, so that's why I got the opportunity to submit in the May term. Now the results are not yet out, so just I'm
Yeah,
very
I told you
skeptical
like
that
22nd is the last date. You can
Yeah,
wait
yeah,
up
I
to
know
10
that. I know that. So I'm just skeptical. That's why I'm just asking for some suggestions and stuff like that. So the first thing is the informations and everything that has been provided by me, and I have followed the rubrics as far my knowledge is concerned and everything. But I have actually used ChatGPT to summarize things. So I just want to know things about plagiarism a bit.
No,
And
plagiarism.
second of
As
all,
long as you write in your own words, it's fine. Now, if you've used it for the first time, it is okay. But we can make out if you've completely used this. But don't use ChatGPT. Anyways, you're speaking well, so
okay,
you
sir.
can just write it in your own words, right? Why do you want to use an artificial intelligence tool to kind of improve it? Rather, improvise it yourself. That is what my suggestion would be.
Focus. Actually, sir, when I am writing the proposals, one problem that I could find in my writing is that I was writing a lot. A lot means the rubrics was not getting maintained, the word limits and
No,
everything. So
that
that's why
see,
I
that is the beauty of it, right? So if you do deep work, you end up writing a lot, but that is where you should know where you have to cut, right?
yeah.
So when you write up a lot, that is why we have given you number of words, right? We have said 250 words. That is why we have given you
Mhm.
the approximate. Now then you have to decide how much you have to write. The same thing, whatever we say, it could be covered in 10 hours. It could also be covered in 1 hour, right? So it is minimum representation, maximum meaning. We call it Farsi
You need to
converse.
optimize the content.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
How tightly
Can
you
the
write
words be
decides
lesser?
how tightly you write decides how much better you are.
Can the
Okay,
words be
so
lesser than
so
250?
so that is number one, and number two, if my proposal gets accepted, there is this one thing that actually I am working on transportation and some unorganized sector that actually requires me to work with analyzing the diesel price trends. Now, whenever I am working with the diesel price trend, the entire data that comes under secondary, but it is not
No.
directly related. So
Yeah,
that is
this
something
part
that I'm
also
pretty
I've
confused
answered.
of.
This part I've answered in the orientation. You can make some comparison, but 80 to 90% of your data has to be primary. If you're using 10% secondary data to make a little bit comparison, it's okay. But if
Okay,
it
okay,
exceeds, then it's not acceptable. Make sure
okay,
that the
okay,
majority, when you say primary, it should be primary majorly. Small
okay.
comparison is okay, right? But if you use majorly, if you borrow from secondary and say that, look, this is what you've done, then answer is no, because then you have mixed both. So it is neither primary nor secondary.
Okay, okay. No, no, sir. I'm not doing that. Actually, just to make a point, to make a point
Point
stand,
is
I
fine.
was.
See, point is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fine. I mean, as long as basic things, it's fine.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll
Vijit,
take a last question. Vijit Kumar, when you joined the session, you joined the session at the end, or
Yeah, I joined at the start. Yeah,
okay, then you can continue because some students
yeah.
joining at the end and they are asking us to repeat
No,
everything.
no, no. So I'm in discussion with an organization. It's a software testing services provider.
Okay.
So based on my preliminary discussion, what I've found is that they have built few IPs since
Mm-hmm.
past few years, and they need me to do the analysis of ROI in terms of the expense that they incurred in terms of building the IP and the revenue that got generated from the IP. So this is what I'm planning to take.
yeah.
So they have multiple products. So as a part of this project, I'm just planning to take a couple of products. So now there are two things I just need some clarity. One is so after this analysis, there are two possibilities. One is like ROI is met. I mean, the ROI is good or ROI is bad. If ROI is bad, then what should be the pricing? So this is what my approach will be. And if ROI is
Mm-hmm.
good enough, then how can it be better? So this is the overall how it looks like. So if I go ahead with this, the data what they provide, okay, when I deliver it
Go for
to
the photo.
ITM, when I deliver to ITM, I need to authenticate because it has some confidential information, client data, because in terms of effort, it has a timesheet of employees who spend time in
See, we don't
building.
what do employees you can mask it, right? I mean, as long as you
Yes,
could give us
yes,
proof of originality is okay. Certain
yeah,
things
yeah,
like employee names, we don't want it. You can mask it and you can
yes,
say A, B,
okay,
C, D, E, right? But
yes,
that is where
yes,
your proof of originality comes to help. And if your proof of
yes,
originality kind of helps us establish credibility, it's fine. But if if that doesn't help us establish credibility, then it's not possible.
right, right. So also
So
I'm
what you
also
need to do, you need to just uh, give us a raw data, right? You need to share the raw data in your report. You can mask it, right? But a
okay,
raw
okay.
data needs to be
Yeah.
explained as like, okay, these are the things you are having.
Yeah, well, the raw data contains client name and employee name. So can that be masked and given? Because it
Raw data
contains
you
client
can't
name.
mask it because it looks like some hypothetical data, right? Because we need to know, like, okay, you can mask in the report for post processing, you can mask it, but in a raw data, you need to show us, like, okay, this is what
See,
I client said. Within
Swagato,
only.
sorry, Vijit, this thing is only this remains only within us, and
Yeah,
we are
okay.
also bound by this clauses. Okay,
Okay,
so we
okay,
have
okay.
a non-disclosure agreement as well.
Okay,
So
okay.
what I would say is that, in the report you can mask, whereas in this thing
Okay,
you can
okay.
just keep it. It is just to check, right? Because
Okay,
in some
okay.
cases, what has happened is that the students have done something really
Uh-huh.
thing. I mean, there was no correlation between what they've given versus what they've done,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. So for that reason, okay.
Okay,
So it
okay.
is only for a validation reason. So we don't even have a access to your data. You have a data in your own drive. You can just give us a view access. We don't want a download access, or we don't want to download your data. You give us a
Okay,
view
okay.
access so that we can just
Okay.
see, validate your data, and then we can just go ahead to for the evaluation.
Okay, okay. So then in this case, I initially told them that we can mask it and share, but then I will go back to them and ask them that the raw data I need to
You
share as
just
it is.
if you want, you can even email us. Like, I mean, we can say that it is just used for verification purpose, right? I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
for us, see, what it is important is verification at the end of
Correct.
the day, because many of them
Yeah.
cook up data and do things. It becomes difficult. So for that reason, we
Yeah.
insist that you just. So we are not going to do anything. We're just going to check.
Yes.
Okay, is the
Yes. Yes.
data genuine or not? Right?
Correct,
That's
correct.
it.
So I will have to circle back to them and tell about them about this, and then what they say. So if they give a green signal, I can go ahead. If they are still resisting, then I think I need to
Yeah,
take a
then you can
different.
get back to us. Then we can see what can be done, right?
You
Or
can just
maybe.
send us if they need a authentication or something like that from our side. You can send us a mail CCing them. We can validate. Okay, this
Yeah.
we need a raw data only to validate what
We validate
exactly
and
is going to process, and then you can remove the access. So
Okay, okay,
it's fine.
sounds good. Yeah, yeah. And then with respect to problem statement, this is okay, right? Like
It
studying
is
and
okay
analyzing
for
the
now.
ROI.
For now, it is
Okay,
okay, yeah, because
okay.
we are very careful when we say okay or not, because then
Yes.
you tell something and you write something else, and then it
Got it.
rejects, and then you'll come back to us. So we are
I'll
also
tell you one
answering in this thing.
story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one story. So last time, I'm not sure. Like, I'm taking every Sunday a session. We used to avoid. Students send us a mail like, "Sir, in this session, in the I think 3 months before session, you have tell me this thing. It is fine. You have to go ahead." But I told usually I
So with
don't.
students now we are very careful. So we say might be,
Yeah.
could be, would be, and all that. So just to safeguard ourselves so that we don't fall
Yes.
into trouble later. So it is
Yes,
all
yes. Thing
might,
is that
would, could.
here we only give you a pathway, right? Because we
Sounds
don't know
good.
anything. In 2 minutes, we can't understand what exactly the business is all about.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we can give you a broader idea. Okay, this thing you can do it, right?
Yes,
So
yes. Sounds
that
good.
is the thing. Like, we should be very, because people, students are quoting us like, you have said this, but we sometimes
Yes.
we didn't. We check the recording and we find like we didn't say anything like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right, right. I just need the
So
green signal so that I can do the next round of discussion with them. So
green
that is the
signal
reason.
based on what you said, huh? Based on
Yes,
what you
yes,
said
yes.
and what we
Correct.
understood. Okay, so when it
Yes, yes.
comes, we'll see
Absolutely.
whether it is actually adhering to what you said, because there
Yes,
is difference,
yes,
no, between what you say and what is
yes.
delivered. So yeah, so I would
Absolutely,
put it that
absolutely.
way, diplomatically.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
we
Sounds
can
good.
close up the
Thank you.
session. I think it is too late for you guys as well. It
Yeah,
is.
so please fill in the feedback
Yeah.
forms. And one more kind of word of advice is that there might be many of them who might say that this might not be useful and things like that. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. The harder you work, and if you do good project, it definitely does
I'll tell you,
difference
I
to your
think
CV.
3 days before we got a mail from a student. He is working on some Arab country. He sent us a mail. He was working on
Javed.
a very small shop. So he sent a mail like, "Sir, because of the BDM project, I got new opportunity in e-commerce business." Even though he told like, "I'm not related to e-commerce. My background is not from e-commerce. But because of the project, I focus the things whatever I have done in the project, and they are pretty impressed, and I got hired from that." So maybe we can ask that, call that guy to just
Abdul
interact
Jawad,
with
yeah.
you,
So his
Abdul
his
Jab.
story is also his story is also covered in Professor Andrew's LinkedIn. You can
Yeah.
just go and check it. Okay. Are we have to end the session. We are, I mean, our bills will increase actually if we take more. So our bills are only for 2 hours this much. So abroad, when we work, the bills are also on a lighter note. It is higher payment. So yeah, so that's it for now.
For
Next
me, it
time.
is not an issue. It's a morning for me, but for you guys, I think Ashwin for also it is a evening for Ashwin. For me, it's a morning, but for you all, it's night, right? So it's let's wind up the meeting and we can meet next week and discuss more. Just try to do one thing. This is a suggestion for you all. Just when you are coming for a meeting, if we have a like technical discussion like Vijit and some of the guys are doing, it will be pretty helpful for others also to
Yeah.
understand. If you ask only the rubrics question, when the timeline, these things,
Yeah.
I think So it dilutes and it demotivates some of the students because they want to ask something and they are not getting a chance to ask, right? So if it is a technical question, you are also learning some of the things from there as well, right? So this is the main motive of a Sunday session where you all will come, you will understand from others' mistake, what others are doing mistakes, what the analysis approach they are following. From there, you'll get an understanding. Okay, I can also do the same thing, right? So this is the main motive. Okay, I hope it is fine. It was a good session, good interaction with you all. Hopefully, we can just have a
Just don't give us emojis. Just put that work in your projects as well, because emojis, thumbs ups, and everything we get, but that doesn't reflect on the project. So yeah, take care. Goodbye.
Chalo, bye bye. I will close the
Thank you,
meeting
sir.
now. Chalo,
Thank you,
bye
sir.
bye.
Thank you, sir.